Have you ever met someone who acts like they don't care? But somehow they're always there. They're the first person to view your story. They somehow know what you posted 5 minutes ago. They remember things about you that even you forgot. And every time you start thinking, maybe it's all in my head, they do something that makes you wonder all over again. Today we're talking about something fascinating. Not the signs that someone likes you, not the signs that someone is attracted to you, but the signs that they have finally stopped fighting it. Because believe it or not, accepting feelings can be harder than having feelings. Sometimes people know exactly how they feel. The problem is they don't want to admit it. Maybe they're scared. Maybe they've been hurt before. Maybe they're trying to convince themselves that you're just a friend. Meanwhile, their heart is over there filing a complaint. Carl Jung often explored the hidden forces inside us. The feelings we try to hide, the emotions we push into the shadows. And the funny thing, what we try hardest to hide often finds a way to reveal itself. So if you've ever wondered whether someone has finally accepted what they feel for you, stay with me, because some of these signs are surprisingly obvious once you know what to look for. And I have a feeling sign number 7 is going to make a lot of people in the comments say, "Okay, that one got me." Let's jump in. Sign number 1. They stop playing hot and cold. You know this person. One day they're texting you, the next day they disappear, then they come back like nothing happened. It's like dating a Wi-Fi signal. Strong connection, weak connection, no connection. Searching, searching, searching. Before someone accepts their feelings, they're often fighting themselves. Part of them wants to get closer, another part wants to run, so they move forward, then backward, forward, then backward again, like they're doing emotional moonwalking. But something changes when acceptance happens. The games start disappearing, the confusion starts fading. Suddenly they're consistent. They're not perfect, they're human, but you no longer feel like you're solving a mystery every day. You know where you stand. And that's powerful, because consistency is one of the biggest signs of emotional clarity. When someone finally accepts their feelings, they stop asking themselves, "Do I like this person?" and start asking, "What do I do about it?" Huge difference, and let's be honest, nothing says I've accepted my feelings more than someone who voluntarily texts first. Not because they have to, not because they're bored, not because they accidentally opened your chat, but because they genuinely want to talk to you. That's when things start getting interesting. Sign number 2. They start including you in their future. Now this one is sneaky, because it doesn't always sound romantic. Sometimes it sounds incredibly casual. They'll say things like, "You'd love this restaurant. We should go there someday. Imagine us doing that. Next summer we should try that." Did you catch it? The key word is we. Before accepting their feelings, people often keep everything in the present, but after acceptance, you start appearing in future scenarios. And no, we're not talking about planning your wedding after 2 conversations. Let's relax. We're talking about small future references, tiny hints, little moments where they naturally assume you'll still be around. Psychologically, that's important, because the mind doesn't invest future energy into people it wants to leave behind. Think about it. When someone keeps imagining experiences with you days, weeks, or months ahead, their heart has already started reserving a seat for you. And honestly, one of the funniest examples is when someone starts planning things you're not even invited to yet. They'll say, "When we go there." Excuse me. When? Who approved this trip? Who booked the tickets? But deep down, it's revealing something. They've stopped seeing you as temporary. They've started seeing you as part of their story, and that's not something people do by accident. Now, here's where things get even more interesting, because the next sign has absolutely nothing to do with words. In fact, It's often louder than words, and once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Sign number 3. They can't hide their happiness around you. Now let's talk about the smile. Not the normal smile, not the polite smile, not the customer service smile people use when they're completely dead inside, but still have to be professional. I'm talking about that smile. The one that appears before they even realize it. You walk into a room, their face changes, you send a message, their mood changes, you call their name. Suddenly they're sitting up straighter than a student when the principal walks into class. Have you ever noticed how some people try to act cool around someone they like and then completely fail? They'll be trying to look calm, trying to look mysterious, trying to look unbothered. Then you show up, and boom, they're smiling like they just won the lottery. Jung believed that our unconscious mind often reveals what we're trying to hide, and happiness is one of the hardest things to fake. But it's also one of the hardest things to suppress. When someone finally accepts their feelings, they stop spending so much energy hiding their excitement. So instead of acting distant, they naturally become more expressive, more alive, more present. And let's be honest, nobody accidentally gets excited every single time the same person appears. That's not coincidence. That's chemistry. Sign number 4. They start paying attention to the little things. This one is dangerous. Because this is where you realize someone has been paying attention the entire time. You'll casually mention your favorite snack. 3 months later, they remember it. You'll mention a random childhood story. Weeks later, they bring it up. You'll tell them you have an important meeting on Thursday. Guess who checks in on Thursday? Suddenly you're wondering, are they taking notes? Should I be concerned? Do they have a secret notebook somewhere? Because how do they remember everything? Here's why. People remember what matters to them. Simple. When someone accepts their feelings, your details become important. Not because they're trying to impress you, because they're genuinely interested. And genuine interest creates attention. Attention creates memory. Memory creates connection. Meanwhile, your best friend has forgotten your birthday for the 3rd year in a row, but somehow this person remembers your favorite pizza topping. Life is funny, and the more feelings grow, the more those little details become meaningful, because they're no longer just listening to your words. They're listening to you. Sign number 5. They start looking for reasons to be close to you. Now everybody in the comments knows exactly what I'm talking about. This is the person who somehow appears everywhere, not in a creepy way, let's not call security, but somehow they're around. You mention a coffee shop. They're there. You join an event. They're interested too. You post something. They're suddenly an expert on that exact topic. It's almost impressive. Before accepting their feelings, people often create distance because they're trying to stay in control. After accepting their feelings, the opposite happens. They start creating opportunities. Not because they're calculating every move, because being near you feels good, and humans naturally move toward things that make them feel good. It's the same reason people keep opening the fridge every 10 minutes hoping new food magically appeared. We move toward what we want, even when we pretend we don't. One of the funniest signs. The conversation that should have ended 20 minutes ago, but somehow keeps going. You've already said goodbye, twice, maybe 3 times, yet you're still talking. At that point, nobody wants the conversation to end. They're just looking for excuses. And honestly, we've all been there. Sign number 6. They become more open and vulnerable. This is where things start getting real. Because attraction can stay on the surface, feelings cannot. When someone finally accepts how they feel about you, they often start revealing parts of themselves they don't show everyone else. Their fears, their dreams, their embarrassing stories. The moments they're proud of. The moments they're not proud of. And sometimes it's the little things that matter most. They stop trying to look perfect. They stop trying to impress you every second. They start showing you who they really are. That takes trust, a lot of trust, because vulnerability is risky. It's basically saying, here's the real me. No filters, no performance, no pretending. And that's a huge step, because people don't open emotional doors for everyone. They open them for people who matter, for people they feel connected to, for people they hope will understand them. When you start seeing this side of someone, pay attention, because feelings often become visible long before they're spoken. Sign number 7. They stop fighting what everyone else already sees. This is the big one, the final sign. And honestly, it's usually the funniest, because by this point, everybody knows. Friends know, family knows, co-workers know, the dog knows, the neighbors know. Even strangers are starting to figure it out. The only person who was still pretending? Them. Then one day something changes. The resistance disappears, the excuses disappear, the denial disappears. They're no longer acting like they don't care. They're no longer trying to convince themselves that it's nothing. They've accepted it, and when acceptance happens, there's usually a sense of peace. Less confusion, less overthinking, less emotional tug-of-war, because the battle is over. They're no longer fighting their feelings. They're living with them, and that's powerful. Not because acceptance guarantees a relationship, not because every story ends with fireworks and dramatic movie music, but because honesty always creates clarity, and clarity changes everything. So let's recap. They stop playing hot and cold. They include you in their future. They can't hide their happiness around you. They remember the little things. They look for reasons to be close. They become more vulnerable. And finally, they stop fighting what they feel. Now here's the question. Which sign have you noticed most often? Number 3, number 5, or maybe number 7 hit a little too close to home? Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to know. And be honest. No mysterious answers. No, I know someone who knows someone. We're all friends here. Sometimes the biggest clue isn't what people say. It's what they consistently do. Actions have a funny way of telling the truth long before words catch up. And maybe that's what makes human connection so fascinating. The heart often knows long before the mind is ready to admit it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more insights inspired by Carl Jung and the mysteries of human behavior. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep paying attention to the little signs. Sometimes they're saying far more than words ever could.